In the depths of the sands of ancient Egypt, a boy king lies in silence. His name, Tutankhamun, a ruler who rose to power at the age of 9, only to find a dark and sudden end at 19. For centuries, his golden mask looked out of the tomb, a symbol of mystery, and perhaps something darker. Was his death a tragic accident? A twist of fate in a brutal world? Or was it something much more sinister? A murder covered by the shadows of the very palace of Pharaoh? Tonight, we will see the dark truth behind the death of Tutankhamun, a tale of betrayal, poison, and a curse that still haunts us to this day. Welcome to the abyss of history. Egypt, 1323 BC. The land of the Nile is a kingdom of gods and kings, but also of betrayal. Tutankhamun, known as the Boy King, inherited a fragmented kingdom. His father, Akhenaten, turned the Egyptian world upside down, abandoning the ancient gods for a single deity, the solar disk Aten. The priests hated him, the nobles despised him, and when Akhenaten died, his legacy fell to his young son, a child unprepared for the vipers that circled around his throne. Tutankhamun's reign was short, only a decade, but Tutankhamun did what he thought was right. He restored the old gods, rebuilt temples, just not enough. At 19, his life ended. His body, sealed in a tomb that would remain hidden for more than 3,000 years. But why did he die so young? The answer is under the sand. 1922. British archaeologist Howard Carter is in the Valley of the Kings, his hands trembling as he discovers a sealed door. Inside, a treasure beyond imagination. Golden carriages, daggers with jewels, and the sarcophagus of Tutankhamun himself. But something is wrong. The tomb is small, too small for a pharaoh of his stature. The burial seems rushed, chaotic. And then they find the body, a fragile figure wrapped in linen, his skull with a strange wound, a bruise that whispers violence. Carter's team is electrified, but soon the malaise sets in. In a few months, the members of the expedition begin to die. Strange diseases, sudden accidents. The press calls it a curse, but perhaps the real curse was what happened to the king all those centuries ago.
Now, let's take a closer look. Modern science has peeled off the layers of Tutankhamun's death. X-rays from the 1960s revealed a fracture at the base of the skull, a blow strong enough to kill. Was it an accident, a fall from a carriage, or was it deliberate? In 2005, a computed tomography showed no signs of healing, which means the injury happened shortly before he died. But there is more. Traces of malaria were found in his bones, a disease that weakens but rarely kills a healthy young man. And then, there is the poison. Some scholars point to the deadly belladonna plant, a favorite of ancient murderers. Subtle, silent, and undetectable after millennia, could have been put in your wine. A slow death masked by disease? The evidence increases, but the question remains, who would dare to kill a god king? Enter the shadows of the palace. First, there is Ankhesenamun, the young wife of Tutankhamun and half-sister. Married to him as a child, she would lose everything if he died without an heir. However, after her death, she wrote a desperate letter to the Hittite king, begging for a prince to marry. A movement that screams fear, not power. She was a grieving widow, or a shrewd widowmaker. Then, yes, the Grand Vizier, an old man with ambition burning in his veins. He buried Tutankhamun, then took the throne, and also Ankhesenamun as his suspect? No doubt. And finally, the priests of Amun. They were deposed from power under Akhenaten, humiliated. Tutankhamun's reforms were not enough to appease them. A dead king, a puppet in his place, is a motive as old as time. 3 suspects, a truth lost in the dust. But the story does not end with his death. The tomb of Tutankhamun carried a warning, a curse engraved on the minds of those who dared to disturb him. Lord Carnarvon, Carter's sponsor, died of a mosquito bite that became septic a few months after the discovery. Others have followed. Heart attacks, fevers, crazy, coincidence or something else. Today, we are on the edge of history, peeking into a darkness that refuses to reveal its secrets. Tutankhamun was murdered, a boy betrayed by those closest to him, or was his death a cruel twist of fate, sealed by the gods he served? The sands of Egypt keep their silence, but the whispers of the past remain. What do you think? Tell me in the comments. And if you dare to face more old shadows, subscribe. Because the abyss is calling.